Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Dychronic, host on this Destiny 2 video, and today we're going to be going over the best weapons if you completely run out of ammo to use as a melee weapon, to completely just blow somebody up the top of their head. And obviously this is a completely objective video based on my vast medieval knowledge of melee weapons, so keep in mind, this video is for fun. Although I will try to reference throughout this video certain things that are going to be important, the ability to wrap your hand around certain parts, how much of the weight of the weapon is behind your hand, in front of it, how unwieldy it is if it's large or hitting your body too much, how spiky it is to hold, and of course, if it's got spikes or blades on it, or if it's an actual melee weapon like a sword, it might do better. And I'm also assuming you're completely out of ammo, but the form of the weapon is good. So those swords are still gonna have their sword parts, just not the energy. Right, so let's go ahead and get started. On screen, you can see the start of the tier list. These are my tiers. First up, we have the help category, the weapons that would be so unwieldy that they wouldn't even be worth throwing at your enemies. After that, we got the trash cans, the massive big boy weapons that are too big or unwieldy to use, or maybe just too heavy. And of course, we have the throwing knife, stuff that you'd most likely just want to throw at your enemies because your gauntlet's probably made out of metal anyways. And of course, we got our double fisters. When one fist isn't enough, you're going with the second one to be able to hold the weapon properly, or, you know, kind of bang somebody upside their head. At third position, we got ourselves a blower. And again, run up behind somebody and blow them right off the back of their head. And again, I wasn't exactly sure how to spell blower. This didn't seem correct to me, and that's why I went with that. Maybe it should be blah blah. At second place, we have the Teddy Roo. If you don't know the famous quote from Teddy Roosevelt, speak quietly and carry a big stick. And it's not even a joke, like literally there's a whole section on Wikipedia about big stick ideology. And of course, number one, King Kong Schlong. Enough said. Right, so let's go ahead and get started. First and foremost, we have the Hawk Moon. Pretty much a throwing knife. Again, this is one of the better throwing knives. It's got a good handle on it, probably well weighted in your hand, but it's more of an extension of your fist. And again, your fist is gonna have metal on it anyways, might be a lot more wieldy. Again, you could spin it around, use it like a hammer, but I would throw it. And that's the entire point of this category is hand cannons and sidearms, okay? Don't judge me. Following that, we have our first King Kong Schlong. This is gonna be one of the best weapons to use as a melee weapon as it's built to be a melee weapon. Now keep in mind that a massive Cloudbuster sword would never work in real life. First of all, you'd have to have enough weight at the pommel to be able to even swing it without it pulling you forward. Second of all, it would be like 400 pounds. So I'm assuming that if we can hold it normally, we could hold it without any ammo. So I'm assuming that it's possible, and in that case, it's literally a chainsaw sword, which probably doesn't have gasoline in it. After that, we got ourselves a good Teddy Roo, a nice, long, big stick that's mostly more of a bat than a perfect King Kong Schlong, but definitely something to be proud of. After that, we got ourselves a Mighty multi-tool. You have to keep in mind that this is a lightweight weapon. That's what the frame is. It's also a longer weapon because it's a scout rifle and got some good handles on it. Even at the very back, you can see there's some handles even at the stock part. So definitely something that you could really blow somebody up the top of their head. Furthermore, Fighting Lion. I actually would put in blower. It's one of those shorter weapons, but it's like a pipe. You can really get your hands on it. No time to explain. Black Talon. Another great one. It literally has a blade. It has a guard for her hand. It probably is weighted, right, man? This is a long boy. I know my voice cracked. Don't make fun of me in the comments, okay? Outbreak Perfected. Another longer weapon. Got some good handles on it. Is this another bullpup? How many bullpups do we have in this game? I mean, Mida's a bullpup. No Time is a bullpup. Outbreak is a bullpup. Bad Juju is a bull. Hard Light is a bullpup. We got a lot of bullpups in this game. And that's actually important, because that means more of the barrel of the rifle is behind you, and that means less of the barrel is forward. Usually bullpups are shorter weapons, and that means it's not long enough to be able to actually hit your opponent. That's important. That's very important. Although even then, it's got spikes on it, and it's pretty long, and I would use it. However, something like Bad Juju, pretty small. Another throwing knife in Malfeasance. It's literally, honestly, like every SMG and hand cannon in the game probably is going to be a throwing knife. Sturm, definitely a throwing knife. Rat King, Cryosthesia, Devil's Ruin. These are things that you would just throw at your dudes. You wouldn't ever. Even this one, Tommy's Matchbook. It's pretty fire, right? Nah, it's wide. It's probably light, and it's very short. I'm trying to think about something else. Oh, Arianas. Oh my. Look, it's for the video, okay? I'm sorry. It just makes sense, okay? However, here's where I draw the line on this. The Thorn and the Lumina both have spiky bits to them. And again, I know that you're hitting somebody with metal versus you're hitting somebody with a spiky bit. Both of these things have their spikes pointed forward, and it makes them a much better weapon to actually melee, better than just your fist. So I would actually put these both in the blower category, because they've got spikes. Likewise, Crimson has a literal knife on the end and spikes on the side. Pretty great. Although, you know, Ace of Spades, yeah, sorry, you're throwing knives. Anyways, moving on. Duality, an excellent blower. I mean, it looks like a pipe. It's long because it's a slug shotgun. It's got a nice handle across the back. It's not too weird to hold on to. You could get in there with that. Fourth Horseman. Oh yeah, this one's a blower. Maybe a little thicker than the Duality, but definitely really long, and there's a lot of places you could hold on to it for sure. Oh, and here we go, our first trash can. Pretty much all of the rocket launchers they're gonna be here at trash cans. They're just too thick. You're gonna like swing it like a log or something. It's like they're just gonna walk away from your hits. Likewise, heavy machine guns. They're just too big. You can't do anything with it. Wardcliff Coil, one of the best examples. It has wonderful handles.
That's what she said.
You got half the weapon here, you got half the weapon over there. You're just like swinging with your shoulder muscles. What are you doing? I mean, Wordline. I know that it looks like a slender blade, but you gotta keep in mind, and I already looked this up, but you gotta keep in mind, it has an actual blade on it. And being a lighter, thinner blade is not a bad thing. That actually means you have more control and you can swing it faster with less energy. And also it has a great handle, literal handle. It's probably weighted properly, and you also have a guard on your hand. Following that, we have the Arbalist, one of those weapons that you could probably break out the magazine to reduce the weight, and then after that, it's a pretty long weapon. I'm actually tempted to put this in Teddy Roo. All right, hear me out. Drop out the magazine. It has this little front part in it, which allows you to have an additional handle on it. And then you can also hold it in like 10 different places around the back. I think that this one's probably gonna be a Teddy Roo. It's gonna be probably the worst Teddy Roo, but out of all of the things, probably better than most blowers. After that, Ruinous Savagery. Just too big, just too big. Like honestly, it's just too massive. Divinity, you're in there too. Pretty much all the Trace rifles. You're just, heavy machine guns, you're just too big. You can't, they're too thick, they're not really long enough, and they're just, Skyrunner's Oath. A shite weapon for shooting and a shite weapon to be using. I am tempted to put this as the trash can. I wouldn't even throw it. Honestly, help me. Like, I don't want to throw it because it's too heavy. I don't swing it because it's too short. I don't want to use this thing ever. I take that back. I'm gonna put this one on throwing knife because I have seen the Cabal kind of smack with it. So it's more like you'd use a pistol, just kind of smacking with your fist. After that, we have Monte Carlo. Now here's the thing. If this Monte Carlo didn't have a knife on the end, he would probably be a double fister. But the thing has a knife on the end. First of all, very sharp. Nice to cut up some good bread, fondue. I literally the only cheese you cannot be cutting is fondue. Cut a nice brie with it, and you can poke some people. After that, another bullpup weapon, probably a double fister. There's gonna be a lot of double fisters. Jade Rabbit, pretty long, but also pretty thick. After that, we've got ourselves actually a couple of here that I consider in a very specific capacity. Now, hear me out on this. Tractor cannon. The way you hold it inside the weapon, first of all, you got cover all over your hand. It's more like an extended iron fist, like a knuckle duster that's really large, a Mega Man like pile driver. And it has weight on it, but you can definitely swing with it. And I like that idea. And the same goes for the VHS toaster thing and the Salvation's Grip. Pretty much all three of these, the same thing. Again, it would be a one-handed thing in the double fister section, but I don't think it's good enough to blow. Following that, we got ourselves a nice pipe. This is a huge blower. You can get your hands around it, the good, you know what I'm saying? Polaris Lance. Pretty much across the board, Sky Rifles are gonna be longer than auto rifles or pulse rifles, and I kind of like them. I kind of like them for the specific use of being long boys. Although this one's a thicker one. It's not long and slender like Mida is, and that's why it takes its tumble. But things like Dead Man's Tail, that definitely blows. Lots of handle locations to hold on, nice and thin, not unwieldy. Definitely could bonk somebody with. Likewise, Queen Breaker. I would see Teddy Roo using one of these things. And you know what they say, Teddy Roo! Another Teddy Roo for sure, definitely. Long boys. We got a long ass thin pipe, that's a great weapon. However, hear me out on this. Whisper, King Kong Schlong. Literally, probably one of the longest, if not the longest snipers in the game. It's got spikes at the end. It's got spikes in the middle as well, but nothing where you would hold your hands on them. And it's a little heavier at the very tip, kind of like a mace, having that heavier inertia at the end of it, but also decent weight behind the handles. Following that, Chaperone, a nice blower, good handles, nice form, good, you know, good. More Teddy Roos. Pretty much all of the snipers are gonna be in the Teddy Roo territory. Nice long shafts on it, where you can get both hands around these shafts. I should stop doing that, it's gonna look weird. Prospector, definitely one of the thinner grenade launchers. Normally I put all the grenade launchers in trash can, but this one is a thinner one. So double fister, I think you could get some stuff out of this. Again, you could drop the magazine to reduce the weight. Telesto, pretty much the same as the Merciless, definitely. Cerberus. Good handle, too thick on the ends. Too much weight pulling you forward when you swing. I would probably put this one in the double fister. It would not blow like some of these other ones like Chaperone. Lord of Wolves. Honestly, it's very close. Lord of Wolves is very close between a blower and a double fister, but it's not long enough, I'd say, so double fister area. Now, here's the thing. Actually, somehow all the bows ended up near the end, but I haven't actually put anything in the help category. And let me tell you, pretty much every bow in the game, in my opinion, is gonna be a help category. So, hear me out on this. I feel like the flex of the bow would lend to a longer impulse time. Because everything about the bow, on top of the fact the string would probably hit you and get in the way, everything about the bow is to increase the elastic potential of shooting the arrow. Every single bow, the construction will bend. And if you're gonna swing at a target, as your target is gonna hit by the bow, it's gonna take a long time to flex. And that is converting all of that force over a longer period of time. That's called impulse. And a great example would be throwing an egg at a pillow. You throw an egg at a pillow, it's gonna have a long time to slow down, it's not gonna break. Likewise, same distance, you throw it at a marble floor, it's gonna shatter. Because it's the time it takes to slow down. It reduces the force over that time. Moving on, I think I got all of them, right? Moving on, we have the Suros. Another double fister, not long enough. Auto rifle's pretty short. Bastion, pretty thick. However, you could drop the mag, and it's pretty wieldy, I would say. Likewise, Graviton, pretty much in that category. Symmetry, a bit of a shorter scout rifle for the same reasons. Sunshot, another throwable, I would say for sure. Terabuzz in there for throwables. We got more trash cans in Anarchy. Heir Apparent and Sweet Business, I also consider to be trash can. 1K's trash can. Cold Heart's probably pretty big. Death from Above is like probably the most unwieldy weapon in the game. And Acreus and Colony, yeah, too big, too heavy, long for the Acreus. Acreus is actually pretty close to making it out, but it's heavy. You ever try to pull Acreus out, have sprint to fire stuff? It never works. It's like literally just slow. It's clearly a heavy weapon, right? And there we go. That's everything. Everything that matters anyways. That is going to be the full tier list for the best things to bang somebody over the head with once you run out of ammo. And now that you know all this stuff, you know what kind of weapons you should be using in the wild once you run out. Anyways, that's the end of it. Hope you guys did enjoy. Let me know in the comments down below what kind of tier list you'd like to see from me in the future. Again, these are more of the fun types of videos. Obviously, I already have my top 10s and my spreadsheets. I'm not going to do a tier list on what I do already, but come up with some fun ideas. Maybe we'll do the most fun exotic armors next. Let me know in the comments down below. That's the end of it. Hope you guys did enjoy. My name's Dychronic, and I'll see you guys on the next one.